taking the time to come and listen to my presentation about inter-office dating. So, this is a picture of Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. Monica was a former intern at the White House when Bill Clinton was president, and many Americans know about this scandal and the impact that it had on the White House office. Now, you might be asking yourself, how does this apply to you? Now, inter-office dating occurs in most workplaces. 40% of Americans have dated a coworker, making it pretty hard to ignore the fact that inter-office dating can cause problems. Workplace relationships can be a good idea, or they can blow up in your face or into a scandal like Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. Now, there are many pros to dating a coworker. For one, they get you. You work in the same environment, they know the stresses that you're under, and you know the stresses that they're under, and you have a lot in common because most of us spend a majority of our day in the office. Now, another pro to dating a coworker is that it's safe. Most Americans meet people in bars or by being set up by friends, and you can't always trust that. And so it's safe to date a coworker because you already have taken the time to get to know them, and you know what they're like, and you've probably hung out with them outside of work. Now, 31% of Americans that have had a workplace relationship have actually led to the altar. Now that is a pretty significant statistic, and it just goes to show that they can work and they don't always lead to a scandal. Don't poop where you eat is a common term I've learned according to Urban Dictionary, and it means that it's not a good idea to date a coworker because it's like pooping where you eat. It's going to mess up your life eventually. David Letterman learned this the hard way. In 2009, he was involved in a scandal that he had to publicly apologize on national television, and he had to apologize to his office, the American viewers, and to his family that he had a relationship with one of his office mates. Pretty hard to have to do that on national television. Now, as earlier we talked about the Monica and Bill Clinton scandal. Bill Clinton learned the hard way not to become involved with a coworker. But again, these men were bigger figureheads, and you might be thinking, how does this apply to my office? But scandals pop up in our work all the time. Take the time right now to think about the scandals, romance that have happened in your office. What was that? What did that feel like? What was the environment? What did it look like when those scandals were going on? Now, when I think about my personal work and the romance that have gone on, there's a lot of women crying and you didn't know what was going on. People were spreading rumors and causing more problems between the said couples, and a lot of men were fighting over the women. And it just made for a non-productive work environment, and everybody was just walking on eggshells around the other people. Now, there's a way that you can help prevent this in your work environment. There are 3 different types of dating policies that you can implement that can help solve this. The first one is the anti-fraternization policy. This basically just means that coworkers are not allowed to date, period. It's kind of a harsher contract because, employees are going to be upset because they might start liking a coworker, but it's just a blank sheet, nobody's allowed to date. Now, the second type of policy is a cross-level ban. And this is where a supervisor can't date one of the employees that's under them. It just creates a fairness in the work environment, and people won't be jealous if the supervisor promotes the person they're dating. It makes it a better work environment. And the third type of policy is a love contract. It kind of sounds weird that you have to make this with your boss or the owner, but it's basically the couple that is starting a relationship has to go to their employee and our employer, and they have to tell them that they're in a relationship, and they have to sign their name on the contract agreeing that they will follow the rules that has been laid out. Like, for example, they can't have PDA at work, or they're not allowed to discuss their relationship with other employees. That way, no rumors are spread or there's awkwardness. So, what will your work environment look like if you implement these contract or policies? Think about that. Now, when I think about what my work environment would look like with these policies implemented, I imagine a place where rumors aren't flying like crazy and people aren't taking sides over, oh, well, I'm friends with this person, so I'm going to hate this person. Or women aren't running to the bathroom crying unexplainably, and people don't know how to act around them when they come back out. Men aren't fighting over the women. It just makes for a more productive work environment when everything is laid out and there's rules to follow. So, are you ready today to change the environment of your workplace? Are you ready to stand up and create these policies to make a better working environment for your office? So, today we live in a time where life and work are often blurred, and dating can happen, and it can be a healthy thing for your work if these policies are implemented. So remember, if you have to say or do something controversial, aim so that people will love or will hate that they love it and not love that they hate it.